I'm pleased to have the opportunity to talk to you on the topic of clinical trials, as I have spent a number of years in my cancer journey on a clinical trial. In 2005, I was diagnosed with a pancreatic NET and underwent the Whipple procedure. I had no evidence of disease for a number of years, but eventually had growth in my liver and was in need of a systemic treatment, as my liver lesions were considered inoperable at this point. I was fortunate enough to be enrolled in a trial at Cedars-Sinai by my oncologist, Dr. Wolin. My husband and I had extensive discussions with my doctor about the risks and the benefits of the trial and other treatment options, and we decided this was the best choice for me. I will be honest when I say that I was very scared about this treatment due to the fact that it had not been approved for pancreatic NETs at that point. There were two separate arms of the trial, and my arm was sandostatin injections along with Everolimus or Afinitor, which is an oral chemo. I joined the trial in 2012, and 5 years later, I received an email from my doctor with the subject line, quote, "You beat your study to submission," unquote. He went on to say, "Congratulations for being the last patient and single-handedly keeping it open several years longer than expected." The clinical trial was a success and became an accepted treatment modality for NETs soon after. And I'm proud to say that 8 years after my enrollment in the trial, I'm still on the same treatment protocol and continue to live a very fulfilling and active life with stable liver metastases. Many people think of trials as a last-ditch effort, but that's absolutely not the case. The way to think of a trial is more that it can be a viable option, a treatment option at any point during your cancer journey, from very early on in your treatment, possibly after a surgical intervention, or even when you're at a decision-making point later in your diagnosis. I cannot stress enough the importance of being under the care of a NET provider if you have any interest in being enrolled in a trial. A non-specialist will not be as informed of the many trials that are available, and most importantly, the one that is right for your specific disease. The zebra aspect that we're all familiar with NET cancer makes it much more complicated to determine the best course of treatment. So having a NET specialist is critical. It's also really important to note that with a rare disease like ours, it's much more challenging for researchers to find enough patients to fill the studies. So any assistance that any of us can provide will benefit our entire community. I'm often asked, am I glad that I did it? And if what I would tell other patients about being in a trial. I can't stress how much I value being a part of my trial. Obviously, high on the list of reasons is that the treatment has been a huge success for me. I also felt that the trial was really well managed, and I felt extremely well cared for by my team. There were very tight protocols on the labs and the scanning and the distribution of medication. I had special treatment room assignments, and the list goes on. But all this made you feel like you were really well cared for. I had a study coordinator that monitored me every step of the way, which was very comforting. I'm so grateful for my clinical trial and that it has afforded me years of stable disease, and equally gratifying is that many other NET patients will benefit from the trial as well. 15 years later, I've been witness to multiple medical advancements in the NET world, thanks to other clinical trials that have occurred since my original diagnosis. This is proof that our involvement in trials has the potential to make a huge impact on expanding our treatment options and moving the field forward, which clearly benefits us as well as all of those coming after us. Thank you so much.